like this long strip that will be going around here. So what you do now, if you can sew this bit like 1 centimetre straight on the sewing machine. It's crazy. I'm always used to having my music, but okay. Stitch it down. As you can see here, this bit. And if it's not connected, what you can do is just cut it off at the edge. It's a little bit over here. And if you can just stitch this one down as well. Right, can you see it now? It's all connected to each other. Once you finish the strip, if you can pin the ending of this bit to the ending of the jacket. If you can pin it, I would say away from the jacket around 1 centimetre, that's where you're going to be stitching it. All the way around. If you've got a stand, you can move the stand while you're pinning it. Or if you're doing it on a table, you can either sit down and pin it, but just make sure that it's pinned neatly. If you've got lining, as you can see I've got lining underneath here, make sure that the lining and the fabric is pinned together. Move up the sleeve if it gets in the way, just turn it around, all the way around. If you want to make life easy for yourself, you can either put your pins in your clothes, or if not, you can put your pins on your stand or just have it on the table or chair next to you. As you can see, it's a bit frayed over here, but I'm going to cut that away afterwards, the lining. Turn this around. Sure. Grab the lining at the back. Remember what I said? 1 centimetre. Right, once it gets to this end, just pin it up to inches. And then just leave this fabric just in case we might need it. So what I'm going to do now is take off the jacket and stitch it where the pins are, right here, 1 centimetre. If this is your first time, the best thing you can do is once you've pinned it, if you can get needle and thread and if you can tack it and then take out the pins, and if not, you can just sew it on the sewing machine straight away. So what you do now is, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to sew this for you. So as you can see here, stitch it 1 centimetre. And the same thing, if you don't know how to do 1 centimetre, the edge of on the right hand side, if you can make sure that the edge is lined up with the edge of the jacket. So the foot edge is lined up with the edge of the jacket, and then just sew it. And always check the fabric to make sure that it's connected with each other. Always check it, stop and check it, take your time. As you can see here again, I'm sewing and I'm taking out the pins while I'm sewing so the pins don't get caught up in the needle and the cord. Once you get to the edge, then you stop. And then once you finish, cut it towards just a bit, just cut off a little bit, leaving cut off the rest of it, but leaving a little bit. Because what I'm going to use this bit for is to fold it over and stitch it like this. This is going to be the edge where, so it could be neating, as you can see here. So you can just do like a little stitch over here. What you need to do now is just fold this over and then just fold it over here and pin it down. You can either hand stitch this or sew this bit on the sewing machine. Now what you can do is, if you can stitch it, the same method, because this is 1 centimetre, if you can keep the edge of this foot and the edge of the jacket, and stitch it through. When you're stitching it, just take your time and follow the green thread where the tacking is. Now, as you can see here, there's no longer frame. I've finished off the edge. Now, let me just turn this around for you as well so you can see the back. What you can do, I mean, if you can see your threads coming out, you can just cut away all of the threads just to neaten up, you know, to make sure that it looks neat and everything. I'm going to try this jacket on. I want to see if it fits me. Yes, it fits me! Well, I've decided I'm going to make this for myself. Whoever you make this for, you make for your friend, your cousin, your mum. Make sure you try it on them to make sure that it fits them right. What I'm going to do with this now, because it hasn't got a button here, I'm going to put a hook and eye. So what I'm going to do is measure it where I want it. So I want it right here, and put the pin right where I want it. And still, it gives me a bit of a baggy effect. This is the hook. Can you see it? And this is the eye. So the hook will go on, will be in the inside, and then the eye will be on the outside. I've put on the hook and eye to close it. Now what I'm going to do now is put on some shoulder pads. I've got 2 shoulder pads here, which I'm going to sew inside the jacket to give the jacket a bit of a oomph. What you do, you pin it from inside, and then you're going to do 1 more pin. Actually, just take off the jacket, just pin it like this. As you can see here, can you see already that the shoulder has already got a bit of a oomph. Do exactly the same one for this side as well. So hand stitch it into place. So basically I'm just going to use my needle and thread. Just so it can be into place. I'm going to do this one real quick. I've sewed all the buttons on the jacket. Can you see how different the jacket looks? What I've also done is sewed button here, so when you close it, it looks quite nice, just here. So what I'm going to do now is the remaining piece of the fabric from the jacket, I'm going to use this to give the jacket a bit of an edge and a bit of a different look. So what I'm going to do with this bit here, I'm going to cut out the lining. What I'm going to do with this bit here, put it to the shoulder to give it a bit of a different look. Can you see already that this bit's kind of like coming out, so it gives it just a completely different look. So if you can get some pins, start pinning it from where you want it. 1 here. How I pinned it on the sewing machine so it can stay. When you're sewing it, make sure you sew right towards the edge, so you don't sew too much of the shoulder pad. Took out the jacket. As you can see now, can you see how it's all nice and flat? I'm very happy with this. This is fantastic.